Good morning, wonderful community, and happy Wednesday. My name is Alice, and I'm the health coach running the Living Light Reset program at the Living Proof Institute. And today I'm super excited because I'm here with my wonderful client, Sandra. And Sandra has recently gone through the Living Light Reset program, in addition to, at the same time, going through the virtual group program accelerators. That's definitely a mouthful. Lots going on, lots of exciting stuff. And Sandra is here today to share her amazing story about how she was able to release 20 pounds in the last 10 weeks and counting. And additionally, a little bit more about her experience and her journey through our virtual group program accelerator. So I want to say a big round of applause to Sandra. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, I'm delighted to be with you, Alice. Absolutely.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you. And I would love to know what initially brought you to the Living Proof Institute.
Yeah, well, it's a really interesting story. So the house you see behind me, we basically built during lockdown, and it fell to me to paint the whole thing and decorate the whole thing. And while I was painting, I thought, I'm going to listen to some podcasts. I'm going to, see if I can get myself re-inspired about what I really do. And I was listening to a lot of Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, which you may have heard of in the US, but he's a UK medically trained doctor with a real passion for functional medicine. Well, really lifestyle medicine, I think more so. And I was just listening to his podcast, and he was interviewing some great people. And I was thinking, he's getting people to talk about exposure to light and intermittent fasting and eating real food and all these things. Obviously I'd heard of before, but I felt very re-envisioned about. And I was just thinking, hey, this is so powerful. I was remembering and kind of upskilling on all the information about it, thinking, I should really be incorporating this more into my own life. I think it would be helpful. I think it would be powerful. And being a kind of an educator coach type person, the second I think something's good for me, I think it's good for everybody else. So I was thinking, and just think, if I could run a program where I was imparting this to other people and educating them and motivating them and helping them incorporate these habits, that would be amazing. And so when I had a chat with my friend Ajamol, who is also an FDN practitioner, and I was kind of sort of saying, I really want to get back into functional medicine, but I'm not quite sure how. And I want to do this, but to write a whole course, that would be huge. And she said, hey, you should really look up Sachin Patel, what he's doing. So I basically Googled him, saw the video that was, I don't know, about an hour long, is it? And everything resonated with me, like the values. I thought, yes, I sign up to those values, and everything he was saying about what was offered on the mentorship and through the program itself. I just thought, yeah, no, that's totally exactly what I want to do. And the way kind of went from there, really.
Awesome. I love how so many different degrees of connection, there were so many different points that kind of led up to this moment, which is so exciting. And having practiced yourself and being a functional medicine practitioner, what do you feel like put you over the edge to join, either the virtual group program accelerator or the metabolic reset?
Yeah, well, I had a couple of conversations with the lovely Aaron, and he was very, very gentle and wonderful at talking me through, my questions. Obviously, I had loads of questions, and he was very careful to explain the whole thing. But I think for me, like when I came to that personal tipping point, I then asked the question of, what is it I really need to bring to this to make it successful? What do you see in other people through this mentorship, and you see makes them successful? And he said it was grit, basically. If you can bring grit to this, and that's what will bring you success. And I thought, well, I've just painted a whole house. How much grit do you want? So yeah.
That's awesome. You're like, grit, we got loads of it. Look, check that out. That's awesome. What did you try prior to coming to the Living Proof, whether it be either on the business side of things, because I know that there's definitely a lot of different programs that you've tried in the past in terms of addressing some of those health challenges. What do you feel like, or how do you feel like this program differed compared to what you have tried in the past?
Okay, yeah. So I think there are a couple of key components. I mean, first of all, the program itself of like the core of the metabolic reset, that is genuinely hugely powerful in itself, like separate from anything else. That thing there, it really works. It's really good. And that definitely sets it apart from anything else. So the quality of that and what it achieves, if it's delivered well, you know, because you want to get that holistic, like, edge to it. It's not just a diet, you know, a diet is just a diet, and you can do that in other easier ways, in a way, you know, cheaper ways, I should say, but what you get with this, and it's hugely good value for money for that, is that you've got you know, the holistic thing of the mind body connection and the parasympathetic system and everything, just all those things keying in make it hugely powerful. So and then over and above that, it's within a framework of mentorship where people like me who are just really passionate about how the body works and how to fix people. And like for me, you know, I came to this not feeling at all confident about the business side of it. There's a framework, there's a clear framework. It's not too prescriptive, you've got freedom within that. But there's a clear framework of like people who've gone before and said, you know, this is how it can work. Try this, come along. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And it makes it so much easier to see the full task at hand when you have that roadmap. Whereas, you know, you see the successful person with the final product and you don't necessarily see everything they've had to do to get to that point. So having that roadmap there is just so essential to keeping you on track, to making sure that, you know, one day you're live on a website or workshops or what have you. What would you say you've tried in the past? Because I know that there's plenty of different programs and experiments that you've done on yourself. I know we in the industry just love, you know, being our own personal guinea pigs. We're our own experiments. So I know that you've had lots of experience with that. What have you tried in the past prior to coming to the Living Proof?
Well, I mean, I've kind of, yeah, like you say, I love to be my own guinea pig, and I'm quite happy to just try things. And, you know, if something resonates with me, I will try it. So I guess, you know, going down the more testing route with what I learned through FDN was something I definitely pursued and definitely did help, I would say. But it's just not the same as going through the accountability of a program. There's something that comes with that you can follow something else and think that you're following it to the letter, but not necessarily realize that you're not necessarily, or not doing the things that are right for you. And I think so what would be another thing that is common to those other things is I mean, I've done lots of things, like tried paleo or autoimmune paleo, or I don't know, just, you know, various supplement regimes. So yeah, various kind of just try this supplement, or, you know, follow this testing, and they've all given me some benefit for sure. But yeah, it's that accountability and coming back to course correction and giving me confidence in my own body, I think, and reconnecting my mind and my body, so that then I really do bring like the top best value in knowing what I need to do, which is getting the feedback from my own body about what I need to do.
Yeah, truly.
No amount of testing can actually really make up for that.
Yep, 100%. And you should be, in my belief system, your best health advocate. So growing and sharpening that intuition is crucial, moving through day to day and, year to year, and expanding on that skill, I think is so important. So I love that you touched on that point. I would love if you could share some of your other results as well as, as you went through the metabolic reset and, potentially the virtual group program accelerator as well.
Sure. Well, on the health side, I mean, the 20 pounds loss was great in terms of just, obviously just feeling better about myself and just feeling like I could be more of the walking advert for what I do that I wanted to be. But it's the gained energy, I think, and that's just way cutting down on food intolerance reactions, which for me typically mean like complete lack of energy, and I can be quite debilitated with a headache, sort of migraine, veering towards that sort of thing, and feeling a bit out of it really. And to be honest, it's the unpredictability of that as well that I'm really enjoying not having anymore, because you just, I began to realize when those things fell away how much they prevented me from really giving my best to other people, because I felt like I wasn't reliable actually. I felt like I couldn't commit to people because, well, what if I have one of those, episodes? So that's been huge for me. I've had some great results with other people. Do you want to hear about that?
I would love to. Yeah, that would be great.
So yeah, it's been wonderful. So I've had people who are very new to this sort of thing. And I had a larger lady who lost a lot of weight. She went down 2 dress sizes. I forget how many pounds she lost, but certainly a significant amount. People have been asking her ever since, like, wow, you're looking really well. And she's new to this whole like lifestyle medicine thing, but she says, oh yeah, I do. I feel better. And people comment, it's not just the weight, that she feels better in herself. And she found that gluten was really like completely messing with all her hard efforts to live and eat well. And then I've had other people who've been down this functional road a lot more and said, hey, this program has something to it that other things don't. And it was very much that tuning in again, like she'd never tuned in as much, and she already had done a lot of that. But this went on another level, and she was able then to course correct, and she actually was able to gain weight. So where she'd ended up eating in a way that so messed with her digestive system, and she'd be getting reflux and such discomfort, she'd then have to spend a reasonable amount of time not eating to recover from that. She was losing weight. And now she's managed to stabilize her weight and much more, her gut is getting happier and happier the longer it's on an anti-inflammatory diet. What is anti-inflammatory for her? So that was really encouraging, because I know she's done a lot in the past. She spent decades trying to find health, I suppose, and tried all sorts of things, and much like myself, and had some help, but not this kind of level of resolution.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, and what beautiful transformations. And I love that it's so visual, the transformations. Like you said, you are your own walking advertisement, and especially so is your client too. So when they get amazing results, they get the influx of family, of friends being like, where is your fountain of youth? What are you doing? So I love that she was able to have that community support and that family support to, add to that motivation of her excellent work. How do you feel like by going through the virtual group program accelerator and having your clients, how do you feel like this has simplified the way that you're going to practice moving forward?
I think it's taken out loads of the questioning that I would have done for myself. So as I said, at the beginning, actually, this resonated so much with what I kind of already wanted to do, but I would have been second guessing myself the whole way. It's so reassuring to have a program that many, many people have been through and found success with doing. And in terms of building a business, again, that people have, forged a way for me and I don't have to second guess myself and think, oh, and I would have been doing that. I would have been trying to create some sort of program, and I wouldn't have brought the same level of confidence to it by a long way, and it would have taken so much longer, not just the writing of it, but the questioning myself about like everything.
I was just about to ask, I was going to say, how long do you feel like it would have taken you to figure all of that out if it hadn't have been through, an accelerator?
I would still be depressed about the idea at the moment. I don't know.
Just super overwhelming.
Yeah, like
all of
no.
that. So what I'm hearing is that you gained a lot of confidence and reassurance within yourself in either, the results that your clients are going to get, or even just delivering the program in and itself.
Yes, 100%. Yes, exactly. The confidence to go forward, and that, my silly little idea wasn't a silly little idea after all, and it's a good idea. And this is help how to achieve it and put it into practice.
Awesome. And what would you say, where do you think your health and your practice would be now if you didn't take action?
That's a really interesting question. I think I would still be, fiddling about with thinking about trying to do stuff rather than actually doing stuff. Because as I say, as my health opened up again, that was when I really realized how much that was the cause of preventing me from going forward with anything, to be honest, because of that sense of I want to give my clients value. I want to commit to them in the way that I say that I'm going to commit to them. And if in my my core I'm actually feeling a little bit guarded about what I can commit to on a long-term basis in the future, that is going to stop me making the commitment in the first place.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And what would you say to a practitioner who is sitting on the fence, considering doing a program like this or an equivalent one or what have you? What piece of advice would you say to them that maybe you wish you had somebody say to you when you first started?
Well, it's a little bit different. So I hope you don't mind, because actually it is something that somebody did say. It was my husband, who's been obviously very supportive of what I'm doing. And it resonated with me at the time, but it was helpful. He said, if you don't do this, what will you do? That really spoke to me, in terms of, well, yeah, looking at it, turn it on its head. If I don't do this, where can I go from here? Am I going to just continue trying to make something organically grow, however long that might take? Am I going to just dig deep and try and make up some sort of program that I hope is successful? Really, there isn't another direction to go in from where I am. So, it sounds a little bit negative, like, wow, what else are you going to do? But it was actually a really positive thing of like, well, yes, your options, your other options are inferior compared to this. So, I think if you've looked at it and you've seen the benefit of it and it resonates with you, and turn it on its head, like, are you just going to carry on with what you're doing and be dissatisfied with what you're doing in whatever way, whether that's burnout or feeling lack of direction, or feeling like you're not your own walking advert, or not enjoying what you're doing anymore? Wherever you're coming from, you just bring that bit of grit that Aaron told me was all I needed, and be prepared to be taught. Just be teachable and jump on it. You won't regret it. There's so much resource there to flourish.
Thank you so much for that wisdom. And I love that question actually that your husband asked you. It's so powerful, yet so simple, because it just alludes to so much. It's that not giving up. Like, if you're not going to do this, what will you do? Meaning that he had total faith that you would do something, that you would find it. But at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, if you don't have anything else on your radar and this sounds like it's a nice fit and it resonates, then, you know, what's holding you back? Don't let it hold you back, you know, dive in and trust the process. And last question I would love to ask is, what would you say was the best part of working together and working with the Living Proof team?
Without a doubt, feeling released into my calling, what I feel is my calling of like who I am meant to be. And I mean, I obviously was myself before, but I am liberated through the transformation of my own health to actually move into doing what I feel equipped and called to do. That is it. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Stepping into your own power, stepping into your zone of genius, your place of passion.
Totally.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, that about wraps up, you know, all the questions that I wanted to ask. And if community, if you have any questions for Sandra and her specific journey or anything that she's up to, which is a lot of pretty exciting stuff, feel free to comment below. I want to say a huge thank you to our community, for anybody that's tuning in, and especially to Sandra. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your beautiful journey with us. I hope that everyone has a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and keep us posted if you have any questions. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your evening too, Sandra, because I know you're in the UK.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.